Fire up your Roman candles because it's an all-Italian car show. Ferrari, Maserati, Lamborghini, Alfa Romeo, even giant Fiat. Italian high performance here in America. And this one British car? Maybe he didn't get the memo?
Hey, welcome to another edition of the Lokar Car Show, and we are here in Tacoma, Washington at Griot's Garage, where they're hosting the Italian Car Day plus Exotic Car Show. And speaking of exotic cars, I mean, you know, you can count it with the tens of millions of dollars worth of cars here. It may be hundreds of millions, I don't know. But they have some very, very rare cars. One of them is a little silver Ferrari over here. Let's take a look.
Well, my grandmother and grandfather back in 1963 were in Rome with the idea of finding a Ferrari Spider, having a beer in a nice little Italian bar, drinking with a banker, explaining why they were there, and the banker says, well, as it just so happens, I just repoed a 1962 250 that was purchased by an Italian gentleman for his mistress. His wife found the payment book, wouldn't let him continue to make payments on it, and my grandfather picked it up out of the basement of that bank for the equivalent of about $3,500.
So now what do you do with the car? Tell me, do you drive it very often, or what's the story on it?
I put about 10,000 kilometers a year on it. Mostly it sits in the garage, but the summer it gets polished up, taken out, and doesn't spend a lot of time in car shows, but it drives around a little bit and just gets looks.
So this is something that's going to stay in the family for a long, long time in the future?
My grandmother had two rules when she signed it over to me. Don't wreck it, don't sell it, keep it for the next generation.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is a beautiful little car. It's been well maintained. I mean, it looks like it almost came out of the showroom, although it does have a little bit of wear in it because of the years on it. But other than that, it is a gorgeous little car.
Thank you very much. I'm really proud to have it down here at Griot's. They do a great job, and anything that they can do to the car is much better than what I can do to the car.
Well, Dave, I am with Richard Griot, who is the CEO of Griot's Garage, and this is a really neat deal. How often you do this?
Well, we do this once a year, and then caffeine and gasoline is done every Saturday, but the Italian Car Show is once a year.
You have a lot of Italian cars, huh?
I do have some in my collection. I can be accused of that.
For you people that don't know, he's a real car guy. You love these things.
I like anything that rolls on rubber. That's what I tell people.
Okay, and especially some of the more exotic cars.
Well, the exotic cars, the Islero, the Lamborghini Islero is something I have in the collection, very rare. One of my favorite cars. I think it drives better than any other Italian car.
Yeah, he also loves Formula One cars and Porsches.
I like driving them, I like working on them, I like looking at them and waxing them and everything in between.
How many cars do you get? I mean, this is not a huge market here.
Well, no, we're down in Tacoma, and it's far away from Seattle. We've got people that drive from the other part of Washington all the way here for this show. And then we have Fords one weekend and Chevys the next. There's always something going on here at Griot's Garage.
Yeah, now for people that aren't familiar with Griot's Garage, it might be deceiving. You don't sell garages. What do you sell?
Well, we sell everything you want to put in your garage, but our main focus is car care. We've been working on car care for 21 years, and we have a wonderful line of waxes and polishes, machine orbitals.
Yeah, and their theme is have fun in your garage. I'd say come and have fun at one of Griot's car shows.
Every month is caffeine and gasoline, but every Saturday there's always something going on here, whether, again, it's Fords or Chevys, Italian or German. Or
you love them all, right?
Love them all.
Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, all these are great names. One of the all-time big names in the Italian car industry is Fiat. And we've got an interesting little Fiat Spider here with Shelly, and her husband's restored. Shelly, tell me more about your little Fiat Spider.
Some kid had it in his father's garage and they wanted to get rid of it. So he let it go for $150. It was in good running shape when we got it. So we've restored the body, put the new paint on it, restored the interior. Now we've been playing with it and driving it to car shows for about a year.
Now, why did you choose the Fiat?
A friend of my husband's actually gave him Fiat 850 Coupe for free. So that's what got my husband started with Fiat.
All right.
So
hey, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we got a lot more coming to you here on the Lokar Car Show. Stay with us.
This edition of the Lokar Car Show is being brought to you by Lokar Performance Products, quality plain and simple, and by Original Parts Group, world's largest source of GMA body parts and accessories, and by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show. You know, no Italian car show would be complete without Lambos. Look at them. Beautiful here. 4 of them right in a row. This one really caught my eye. The bright yellow, I really like it. I like all the lines on it. You see these right back here. These actually open up and let fresh air, like ram induction, get into the engine. Then when you stop, if you want to, you can leave the toggle switch up and they can stay open, or you can close them like you see on that one right there. Now, to learn a little bit more about the history on this car, we caught up with its owner.
I've had this since October. It was used and it had 12,500 miles on it when I bought it.
No kidding. Tell me a little bit about it. Let's start with the engine.
Oh, it's a 6.2 naturally aspirated V12 engine.
What kind of horsepower?
This one makes about 600 horse.
Do you know what the car weighs?
About 4,000 pounds.
Wow, so
Heavy car.
yeah, but it gets right along with 600 horse, right?
Yeah, it does. It's a 6-speed standard.
Standard shift?
Yes.
Okay, you got the paddle shifter?
No, it's a full 6-speed manual.
Got the stick?
Yes, that's right. Just one of the cars I had a dream about buying and owning it one day, and I'm happy to be able to do it now.
I love all these Lamborghinis. This one is called the SD. Check out the wing on the back right here. He also has the optional ram air coming up right there. Let's check in once again with Dave Bowman.
Here's one of the more popular Ferraris around. It's a 430. And we have William Howard here, who is the owner of this car. And you know, this car looks a little different. It's not quite what it appears, is it, Howard?
Oh yeah, actually it is a vinyl wrap. It's a matte black vinyl wrap, and it was like a blue underneath the color, under the wrap.
Now, why'd you wrap it?
Well, it's protection and style at the same time, so I think it's fun to do, and I can always remove it whenever I don't like it. Just like the stripe, it was yellow, and then I replaced it to red.
So tell me more about the 430. What kind of engine has it got in it? A little bit more about that.
It's a 4.3-liter V8, and this is a Scuderia, which is a lightweight version of a 430. So it's lighter weight than a regular F430.
Looks like you have carbon or ceramic brakes. What are they, carbon brakes?
Yes, it's carbon ceramic brakes. As you can see, there's a fire extinguisher in there, and it's all carbon fiber on the side.
And this is the way they come, right?
Yes, on a Scuderia version. Yeah.
Scuderia. So this is really just a race car on the street, isn't it? Anyway, it's a beautiful car. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to drive. Too bad it just doesn't fit a guy like me.
Well, Dave, let's go back about 42 years to be exact, from your 2008 Ferrari back to 1966. Look at the restoration on this car. It is absolutely immaculate. See what they were doing back then. And this is a GTS, right?
That's correct. It made only about 200 of them. I'm not really sure how many are left.
Wow.
I bought it in about 2004. And I bought it from a friend of mine who'd had it for at least 30 years. So he had it when I was in high school. I remember seeing it when I was in high school, and I'd always wanted to buy it, and it just worked out.
Did you restore it, or he restore it?
It's kind of just been taken care of all of its life.
Wow.
Well, you know, we've done a lot of Italian cars here, the 4-wheel variety. But this is a 2-wheel here. This is a 2011 Ducati. Model 1198. This is something that I guess takes a lot of guts to ride, because this is fast. You can see it's really set up more like a road racing bike. It will fly. Beautiful work on it. Something that I don't know if I'd like to ride that or not. It might be way too much for me, but you know, if you got an Italian car, you need an Italian bike. What's better than a Ducati? But you're not going to believe it here. We're right here with all these Ferraris around. If you follow F1 at all, you know that Ferrari and McLaren go at it nose to nose. And what do we have right here? A McLaren has sneaked into the Ferrari party. Can you believe that? Lokar Car Show. Well, we are standing next to a 550 Maranello. What year is this, Gary?
2000.
This is a 2000. You can see it's absolutely gorgeous shape. And this is Gary Reed. He's the proud owner of this car. Tell me a little bit more about it. Why do you like it?
You know, I've had several V12 Ferraris. I just love the torque and the power of the V12. And I've had a couple older V8s, but I'm really stuck on the V12s now. Just so much torque, and you can go into a corner and just pull away with all that torque. And I've always loved the style into this car because I think it's kind of a retro look. It almost reminds me of the old, 275 GTV4s.
Now, do you do much traveling with it?
Yeah, in fact, we just did a 3-day Ferrari Club trip last weekend. We went down south to a lodge for 3 nights. It was probably about 25 Ferraris. It was a fantastic trip. Put about 600 miles in the car, and it's just a great cruiser. It's got a huge 29-gallon gas tank, so you get pretty good range in it.
So you get good mileage on it?
I'm actually, in 6th gear cruising along, I think I can get probably 20-something. The sticker rating was, I think, 8 in the city and 14 on the highway, but I think I'm getting them almost 20.
You don't really buy these for gas mileage. You buy them for fun, right?
Oh, right.
If you want to travel, this is a wonderful car to do that in. It handles well, it goes well, gets decent gas mileage, but who cares as long as you're having fun. I think Ted's having fun somewhere around here.
What is it you're asking? Well, it's a 2005 Lotus Elise. Really swoopy body. I really like the look of this car. Don't know a lot about him, except, of course, for the name Lotus, a very famous racing name. So I caught up with the owner to get the inside story.
This is a 2005 Lotus Elise, made in Hethel, England. This one, fairly standard stock version of it. Car weighs in about 2,000 pounds.
Wow, that's light.
Very lightweight. Yamaha engineered Toyota power plant. It's at 190 horsepower, but because of the lightweight, 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds.
Wow, so it's a fun car to drive.
A lot of fun. This is a lot like a go-kart for the street.
Yeah.
6-speed manual transmission. You actually have an extruded and bonded aluminum chassis on this car. You have extruded pedals on this one, being a 2005. All the pedals are extruded aluminum.
And it's very aerodynamic.
Very aerodynamic. You'll actually notice on the back of the car, there's actually ducts that help pull the air out from underneath the car. The bottom of the car is completely sealed. Air moves faster underneath than over it, so it helps to suck the car down to the road at speed.
And you have louvers here where the engine is.
That's correct. So because it's mid-engine, a lot of times you'll have a heat problem with mid-engine. You have to get rid of heat. You also have ducts on the side for air intake on the left, and then just to balance things out styling-wise on the right.
Okay, now it has a hard top that you've removed.
That's correct.
You left it at home.
Yeah.
In the garage.
Yeah, actually it's taking up room in one of my rooms at home. So,
so it starts raining, you got problems.
Well, actually I have a soft top for this car. Really ingenious design. It's just a canvas top. Rolls up, stows in the boot when you're not using it. When you need it, you take it out, put a couple of stays in the roof, roll it out, clip it in, and away you go.
Now they have push button doors right here, really cool. Notice right here, the seat is really down in there. I mean, full racing seats that are made by Lotus. You said real low in this. It's like he said, it's probably kind of like driving a go-kart.
When you talk about great Italian car makers, you cannot leave out Maserati. They've been around for a long time, and this is an absolutely gorgeous example of the Maserati Ghibli. This is 1972. We got Al Lancaster here, who is the proud owner of this. And Al, you've had this for quite a while, haven't you?
25 years. Basically found in the horse barn in South Carolina.
And then you restored it?
Basically, it's original. I just cleaned it up.
And the paint's original?
Paint's original. I try to get it out 4 or 5 events a year here locally, a lot of rallies.
So it's got a V8, V12, what has got in?
V8, 4.9 liter, double overhead cam. These are very odd toys. They've got dual gas tanks in the back, 20 gallons on each side. You have to toggle the car to keep the weight level in the cars. So you have to pay attention to it. It's a car you have to drive.
What do you like best about it?
Horsepower. It's less than 200 mile an hour toys, and she'll do it. She gets a little light in the nose about 180. She wants to be an airplane, but
180? Did you say 180?
Yeah, she gets a little light about there, so yeah, she tends to back out.
He causes the pucker factor to take place. Is that it? I thought so. Anyway, how many miles you got on this car now?
I think about 28,000.
28,000 miles. Well, you can see this is a beautiful example of a Maserati Ghibli, and I'll tell you what, for that age, you've done an incredible job of taking care of it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay with us. We got a lot more coming here on the Lokar Car Show.
This edition of the Lokar Car Show is being brought to you by Lokar Performance Products, quality, plain and simple, and by Original Parts Group, world's largest source of GMA body parts and accessories. and by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Well, that's an interesting steering wheel. Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show series, coming to you from Griot's Garage. I'm Ted Jones, and I have found a new 2012 Ferrari California.
So the color is a black metallic color as opposed to the straight black. Carbon fiber racing seats, carbon fiber steering racing wheel, some carbon fiber on the backsplash, carbon fiber mats, and then the upgraded audio system and a backup camera.
And these are all options that you order?
Yes, everything's an option in Ferrari.
Okay, now you're telling me there's a light in the steering wheel. Explain it.
Right, so at 5,000 RPMs, the lights start going 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you don't have to look at the speedometer or the RPMs, and basically you can shift by keep looking at the steering wheel.
Boy, that's pretty neat. Now there are 3 buttons down there.
Right.
What do they do?
So auto puts it into auto mode, meaning you do not have to shift. And then if you push auto mode a second time, it goes into manual mode, so you can use the paddle shifters to shift up and down. And then the third button is power start, which is basically a traction start where you push the button and hold the brake down, get up to 4,000 RPM, release the brake, and the car will shift on its own like a drag racer.
Wow, so transmission brake is literally what that is. Drag racers use them all the time. Is that a navigation system there?
Yes, it is. That comes with the California standard.
Tell us about the engine on it.
4.8 liter V8, puts out 483 horsepower, 450 pound torque.
Wow, so this gets right along.
Yeah, it gets around a bit.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, we kind of exceeded some speed limits down in Oregon a few weeks ago.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah, they're not meant to sit in the garage. They're meant to get out and drive. Right. Okay, Davey, see what you've come up with.
When Richard Griot throws a party, he does it up right. And when he has a party with all these Italian cars, what's natural in having America's #1 Italian rock band, Tony LaStella and the Goombas? You know, they've been in over 31 countries. They do a fantastic job. You know, I'm getting this real desire now for some Chianti. Coming up next is the Lokar Lowdown.
For any of you who have purchased a Lokar shifter and wondered, what in the world is this for that came along with the package? Well, we're going to find out today that it is a lot more important than what you may realize. And Jeff, tell me, what's this thing for?
What this is a neutral safety switch adjuster plug. And what you do with it, we're going to cover it right now.
Okay.
Very important piece of safety equipment. The first thing that we're going to do to adjust this neutral safety switch is we're going to place the shifter in reverse, and we're going to take the switch out.
Looks like you're using 7/8.
That is a 7/8.
Okay.
And then with the switch out, we're then going to take and loosen up the 2 button heads that ride in that slotted bracket, just enough to where we can move the plate back and forth.
Okay.
And with those loose, we'll move the plate back and forth and line it up with the center detent right on the side of the shifter.
Gotcha.
We'll insert our adjuster plug.
That little plug that you wondered what that was for.
We'll thread him in here, make sure we're fully detented in. Down. We'll take a 5/8 wrench. Actually, just tighten it up just a little bit. Just enough just to snug it up some. Then we tighten our button heads back up in the slotted bracket.
Those Allen head T-handles are nice, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they work great. Then we'll take our plug back out. Place our switch back in, and we'll tighten this up. And after we tighten it up, we're going to put a voltmeter on it, make sure that we've got continuity in park and neutral and nowhere else. And that neutral safety switch will be set.
Now, would you want to make sure that you would always hang on to that little piece, just for some reason you would need to reset this?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Anytime that you do any work to the transmission where you have to disconnect the linkage rod, readjust the linkage rod, you will need to readjust the neutral safety switch.
So it's just one of those little pieces. You want to make sure that you remember where you put it, right? you want to find out more about this and other products from Lokar, you can just hop on their website, lokar.com, and remember, all Lokar products are made in the USA. You can also check them out on Facebook.
Well, here at the show, you're walking around, you can find some really, really neat cars and some pretty rare ones. We have Michael Harbin Jr. here with an absolutely gorgeous red Ferrari. I guess there's no other color, right, Michael?
There's no other color. That is the color.
Tell me about this one, because this is not one I've seen before.
It's a 2001 Ferrari Barchetta, and they made 448 of them in 2001, and they brought about 127 to the United States, so it's pretty rare.
Now, tell me a little bit more about this. I see this is a convertible. You don't see those very often.
It's a virtual roadster. It has just a little soft top you can put up if you get caught in the rain, but I've never had it on it.
So how long have you had it?
Since 2006.
And what's your plans for it?
I'm hanging on. It's a beautiful car.
It is an absolutely beautiful car. Walking around here, it looks like it's got a lot of room in it. You're a pretty decent sized guy. Is it roomy for you?
Plenty of room in the car, and more than anything, it's fun to drive, and it's fun to share with other people that don't know what it is, and we give them a little education.
So have you taken any trips with it?
Not any long trips, no.
Just local trips?
Yep, just local.
Well, I can understand why, because this is absolutely gorgeous. Take a...
Sir, we're getting a complaint about you loitering out here. You're going to need to come with me, please.
I am?
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. We're going to take a short break. I think I'm going to be busy.
Folks, I got a problem. I just lost my co-host. So, Sam, are you out there? You want a job, buddy? Hey, that brings to a close this edition of the Lokar Car Show series, and Davey's somewhere. I'm Ted Jones for Dave Bowman. See you next time.